first fight that he pulled out of was because of mental health issues. I think to get to that point that you say, I can't do this, you had to have hit rock bottom. He talks about a story where he went into the gym to train and he just, for whatever reason, couldn't handle it, broke down, cried, went outside and sat with his manager in the car and just had a heart-to-heart because he just realized the pressure was too much.
It was things that was escalating, you know, outside the ring that he wasn't really dealing with. After the fight, you know, it's like the training camp and, you know, going through all that, he had to focus on that, so he had to put it on the shelf. So after the fight, when he dropped, that's a few weeks later, it all came crashing down, like, okay, now you're gonna deal with this.
We didn't know what it was like until he got diagnosed as a mental illness. There was something going on there. And it was just pulling him back deeper and deeper and deeper. He went into a deep depression and it started worrying us because I knew, I said, this is not Ryan. Ryan is 100%. Ryan flies when he has to. You know, you don't have to do anything, he flies. But when he's not flying and he's not eating right anymore, and he's not smiling the way he normally does.
Good in target. Good in target.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Buongiorno.
Bonjour, Mr. Freddie Roach.
Then there's a problem here. And it turned out to be a big problem. You know, when a kid is 21 through 24, there's a lot of things that come their way. And when you start becoming successful, you're being pulled by sponsors, you're being pulled by managers, you're being pulled by other promoters. You gotta be careful, because there's some people that are gonna pull from you and pull and pull. And at that age, you're not gonna be able to handle it. You're overwhelmed with it. And when you're overwhelmed with something, you could break. When somebody's been doing boxing all their life and all of a sudden says, you know, I don't want to box anymore. I don't need this anymore. Something must have happened here. When your own son tells you that he wants to drop everything, including his career, completely, that's when you start to wonder, wait a minute, is this what I think it is? He wants to quit? I was worried. But it was just an illusion. It was just something that was telling him this and that. He had to just break out of it.
There was a time where I was worried. I wanted to see my charismatic, funny, you know, loving son, you know, and he wasn't there.
Guys, all right, back at it.
Well, I'm his father first, before I'm his trainer. So when your son comes up to you and tells you, hey Dad, something's going on, I don't feel right here. I'm not 100%. Then you have to look into it. You got to stop what you're doing and you have to look into it, because in boxing, you either 100% all in or you're not. And that's when I realized what was going on with Ryan, where I didn't see the interest I saw a drawback in his interests. And that's not normal. Just like a car, when the car starts failing on you, something's going on. Whether it's the carburetor or it's the oil pump or something going on, you know, and you gotta fix it. And if it takes a while to do an overhaul, then so be it.
When that was happening to me and I couldn't find a way out of my mind, it frustrated me. I just had a lot of different type of thoughts, suicidal thoughts, and I went through a hard time, but I battled through it.
He had to deal with it, you know, and he had to really address his anxieties and what was really going on internally with him. And I told Ryan this, I know right now, you feel like you're never gonna get out of this, you're never gonna see the sun again, but the sun always comes up.
When I saw Ryan emerge from this sickness, it was a relief for me because I saw my Ryan again. I saw the interest, I saw him shadowboxing. Oh wow, he's shadowboxing? And he was shadowboxing just for about 20 seconds, then he would stop. I was like, ooh, okay, all right, I'm not gonna say anything, but I saw in the corner of my eye. Next day, he might do something else. But I saw it developing. Till finally he says, hey, you know, why don't we just do a little bit of training? Let's do some mitt work. That's when I knew. And now, you see Ryan, where he is. He's smiling, he's calm, he's collective, and he's back. He's back. That's why they call it the return. And this is no joke. This is the return. Ryan is back. He weathered the storm, and now he's gonna be who he is.
Don't talk that shit. I've been real respectful. You start talking that shit, you're gonna get fucked up. What did he say? What are you talking about? What did he say? Call me Queen Ryan, all this bullshit. I'm about to taste this Ghana pepper. What the fuck? I know. You know I'm Mexican. I be eating hot shit my whole life.
I see my son back, you know. You know the time where people are like, oh, he's depressed and he's still talking crap. No, he was rolling out of it already, and that competitive spirit is always gonna be there, you know. And that's when that little stuff started coming. I said, oh, he's coming back. He's coming back. So I was happy.
And I started having little glimpses of hope. And then little by little, my mind started clearing up. Just knowing what keeps my body in tune, because if my body's in tune, my mind is in better shape to stay in tune. So what I know is like I have to run in the morning, whether I'm training or not. Like I know I have to run, and I know I have to put in some other type of work just to keep my body in tune, and then my mind will be better suited to take on the day.
I commend Ryan Garcia for taking the time off and being vocal and speaking about his mental health. It takes a lot of balls, a lot of courage, a lot of strength. He has become this voice, an ambassador for people that are kind of maybe shy to talk about, you know, these issues.
He's always somebody who's been brave enough to speak openly about anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts. I think he's always had that bravery to be authentic and to be truthful. I think when you share your life as much on social media as he does, maybe that preconditions you to being willing to share and be honest. But I do think it's a major decision. He knows that there will be backlash. It's not really necessarily accepted that you need to take a break for mental health. I think people within boxing probably think you have to power through.
Because everybody thinks that, oh, well, you're supposed to be strong and you're supposed to just bite the bullet. The time off obviously helped him to just reorganize his life, reorganize his head.
I am sure that you could speak to fighters who would say, yeah, that's not acceptable. We're all going mentally through a tough time. Walking into a fight is not an easy thing. And I'm sure that there would be criticism coming from all types of corners. People love to hate.
Hey, I hit him, you count him.
I think especially when people see your life and look at you and think, you're a model for Dolce & Gabbana, you've nearly 9 million followers on Instagram, you're rich, you're making good money fighting, you're living a blessed life, to realize that just because everything looks nice on the surface doesn't necessarily mean your relationships are always going well, you're happy in your personal life, that you can still deal with issues that affect us all. I feel like that makes people warm to you. It makes them want to see you do well.
This is a very difficult sport we're in. You have to be 100% when you step inside the ring, and the mind can play some strange and interesting tricks on you.
Boxing is so mental, and I think that you have to be able to walk into the ring feeling like you can't lose.
That's why we're fighting. I mean, I'm trying to add a big name onto my list. I searched for the best. I feel like he's one of the best, and now I'm here to take him out.